So, my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Bitcoin is currently at 106,000 US dollars. Yesterday, we actually saw hardly any movement after we first made our move towards 105,500 US dollars. Then, last night, it went back above the 106,000 US dollar mark, peaking at 106,300 US dollars. That means we've broken through the 4-hour 200 SMA for now, but then fell back again and returned right to our previous high. So, we still haven't filled this wick yet either. We'll take another look at this on the daily chart in a moment to see how things are looking there right now and what signs there are about where things might be headed next. Also, what's coming up today? Of course, we'll also be looking at the traditional markets. We'll take a look at the altcoins as well, so make sure to stick around until the end. But before we get started, feel free to give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and signal group. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, feel free to join. Unfortunately, it's not loading right now. There's nothing I can do about it. No idea why it's like this at the moment. But you know the drill. The link is down in the video description. And if you're still looking for an exchange where you can trade everything we talk about here, feel free to sign up with my partner exchange, Binks. The link is also down in the video description or in the comment section. At the moment, you can grab up to 11,500 USDT in bonuses here. So, Bitcoin is at 166,100 US dollars. Like I said, last night or in the last 4-hour candle, we tried to break above the top at 164,000 US dollars, but once again, we just wicked above it. Okay, volume-wise, it's also been very, very low in the past few hours. We're trying to consolidate a bit here. Of course, this also creates, if we just quickly draw it in here, a slight divergence, or actually a bigger divergence, especially when we see that the volume just really isn't there at the moment. Those are at least, for now, the small in quotation marks, bearish factors that we have here. If we look at the funding rates, they've dropped significantly again. So that actually suggests that we might see higher prices again, and that's exactly what the heat map is currently telling us as well. 109,000 US dollars. That's still the big area right now where the most volume is concentrated. Yesterday, for a while, there was a bit more at 111,000. By now, that's been reduced a bit again. We'll have to keep an eye on it to see if it shifts again a bit over the next few hours. Of course, these could also be orders that end up being removed or simply aren't up there anymore. On the smaller time frames, things look much more dangerous to the downside, which also ties back to our plan from yesterday, this blue path here, that we might move down again into this price range of about 100 to 1,400 down to around 100,000 US dollars before making a move upwards. It'll be interesting to see which direction Bitcoin takes first. Yesterday, we also had Powell, who spoke at some conference, I think. But he wasn't really ultra bullish either, and he hinted at interest rate cuts at the earliest. He didn't say it directly, but at the earliest for September. Why September? Because with the tariffs, we have exactly the same problem we've had for months, and there are still some talks coming up with the EU, with Japan, and so on, because these tariffs will probably push inflation up a bit at first. That's why Powell is waiting through June, July, and August, so that at the earliest he can make a decision on interest rates in September. Unless something dramatic happens and the markets crash. We'll get to that in a moment. So, we really shouldn't expect much there. Still, today at 3 o'clock, oh no, at 4 o'clock, there's another talk with Powell. That's what you can call it these days. He'll make another statement. But compared to yesterday, not much will have changed. So just be cautious when it comes to interest rate cuts. I don't expect that these will be lowered before September, at least for now. And most market participants are also only expecting that to happen in September. In July, it was just 85%. Now in September, it's 70%. And that's exactly what Powell said yesterday. Let's take a quick look at the daily time frame. How does it look at the moment? Still consolidating. We didn't manage to get above this wick here yesterday with yesterday's candle at 160,400 US dollars. Once again, only liquidity has been cleared out for now today, or just wicked above it. It's not particularly bullish yet. Let's see what the rest of the day brings. At the moment, I still don't see an all-time high. I'll tell you how it is. So, I'm still not a fan. We've come back into the golden pocket up here again, once more just sweeping up the liquidity for now. So we at least need to get above the 170,000 US dollar mark on the daily to really turn absolutely bullish here. Otherwise, we're still holding above the EMAs, but still, at least a daily close above 170,000 US dollars is needed for us to be a bit more bullish at the moment. Otherwise, for me, this is all just a fake out in consolidation, probably with a lower low coming, I don't know, maybe towards 94,000 or 95,000 US dollars. We'll see. So, as you can see, I'm still not bullish, but alright. Let's see what the next few days will bring. Yeah, let's move over to Ethereum, so to the altcoins. What's been happening there? Ethereum has basically followed the path perfectly. We could even have a bit more room to the upside if we plot the 200 SMA on the 4-hour chart up here. That would be about the maximum. I could even go along with that. Otherwise, yeah, we've seen a counter reaction for now. At least we've taken out this high here, even if just barely and only with a minimal 4-hour close. Still not really particularly bullish either. Let's see how this path plays out here. We talked about it yesterday, that we have this downtrend here. You can see it here again. If we can stay above that now and also hold this support above 2,360, okay, next step is $2,700 or a brief stop here at the 200 SMA. Doesn't look too bad at the moment, but it's still tied to Bitcoin's fate. That's a better way to put it right now. Solana. After the retest down here of this downtrend line, okay, in the end, it's really neither here nor there, what we're seeing at the moment. I've got this line. Well, so what is this now? So, it's morning, I know, but still, it's the same kind of game with Solana here. Still more of a sideways phase, accumulation phase, lower lows, lower highs at the moment in this downward range. But here too, we have to be clear, we had this upward impulse, but we still haven't managed to break this high. We need to get above $148 to even start being bullish again. So we have the same scenario everywhere, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, it's the same everywhere. We need to get above these recent highs so we can sweep the liquidity for a while, but also so we can close above them in a bullish way and start forming an upward trend. Those are the most important factors right now. Let's move over to the traditional markets. What's gold doing? Gold has managed to recover a bit again lately. The 200-day SMA once again acted as support in this low region down here, around, what do we have here, about 3,300 US dollars, which held up well with the pivot for now. Let's hope it stays that way for now and we get a turnaround here. The euro against the US dollar is still holding up very, very strongly. We got rejected up here at 1.16. Still bullish, bullish, bullish. So, the euro is holding up. I'm curious to see if we'll get some kind of correction here, especially since we're currently forming a sort of double top. That's something to watch out for, especially since we've already swept up the liquidity above this pivot. So for now, we could see a double top scenario here, unless we actually manage to close a daily candle above this level, an impulsive daily candle. Yeah, the traditional markets. The DAX is definitely on its way towards the golden pocket, or rather our zone where we said there would be a short area up there. It's holding up well. A huge gap formed yesterday. All well and good, it can keep working its way up. Nasdaq hit a new all-time high in the futures. So the futures reached a new all-time high. Barely. Like, really just barely. If we take a look at it, I'm not sure if this is the right chart. Yeah, barely. Really just barely. It reached a new all-time high here, but so far hasn't been able to close above it. Like I said, what I don't like here is the volume. We have up to. I said it yesterday, apart from Microsoft, no stock is currently at all-time high levels. Not even Nvidia is at an all-time high. But I said I really want to see all-time highs everywhere, so that we might see this turnaround here. And at least with the Nasdaq, we've achieved that. US Tech 100 is basically the same thing. We're also above it, or right at it. Dow Jones still has quite a way to go. Whether we'll even manage the here is another question. And the S&P 500 isn't far off either. So in my opinion, the best thing now would be if, as I said, we could push up the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq for another day or two, maybe pump them up a bit, and then possibly see that sell off. That's actually what I've been waiting for weeks, that I would have liked to see the all-time highs first before we get a correction. All of that could still happen now. Like I said, the economic situation isn't really great. No matter what we look at, I'm not bullish. I'm just telling it like it is. I'm not extremely bullish. But I'm not that either. I'm not extremely bearish either, like thinking we're heading straight into a bear market down to 50K or something. I would just like to see a few more bullish scenarios, just so we can say, wow, okay, this move is sustainable. Or, okay, we could be heading toward an all-time high. At the moment, I don't see that happening. But hey, feel free to prove me wrong. Just drop it in the comments below. Otherwise, I'd say that's it from my side for today. We'll catch up again tomorrow morning. I wish you all a great and successful day. Feel free to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and then we'll talk again tomorrow. Until then, ciao ciao, and as always, stay crypto.